Hola peeps, welcome to today's video. Bit of a different style video today. I usually like to do them out and about, but as you can see from behind me, it's monsoon season in Phuket. So welcome to a rainy, wet Phuket. So today's video, my first time in Thailand. I'm going to tell you a little story about my first time in Thailand, which was quite a long time ago, 20 years. So let's get straight into it. Let me tell you the story. And yeah, hopefully make a few giggles. Here we go. Okay, so it was either the year 2000 or the year 2001. I know it was this time because I came also in the year 2003. And that was obviously the year before the tragic disaster of the tsunami. So it was around 2000, I think. But you think I should remember the millennium, but trust me, in them days, my memory was just, my memory's not good now, but I was more about just having fun than anything else. So yeah, and it was a good friend of mine that suggested Thailand. I'd never even thought about it. Let's go to Thailand, he asked me. I was working away at the time in London. He said, let's go to Thailand. I said, what for? Because, you know, he really wanted to go. And after some time thinking, at first I said no, but then after some time thinking about it, working away in London, winter was coming. It was coming up for Christmas, and he wanted to go for Christmas. And I just had the thought, and I said, sod this, let's go. So I rang him, let's go. And he wanted to go for 3 weeks. So I need to say thank you to my mate, by the way, Paul, because it was his idea. Otherwise, I might not have even gone. So we booked for 3 weeks, thinking it was going to be cheaper at Christmas. For our amazement to find out that this is peak season, but two young guys from the Midlands had no clue. So it was peak season. We went for 3 weeks, and the plan was Bangkok, Pattaya and Phuket, believe it or not. At this time we also had a friend that was a backpacker, a girl that was a backpacker, and she advised us what to do. not the best advice, but hey, you know, young guys. I was like 20 years ago, 24, my friend a bit older, 27, 28. So this is how we turned up. We just booked a flight. We didn't book a hotel. We booked nothing. We just booked a flight to Bangkok and back 3 weeks later. So we turned up with this, not this actual bit of paper, but a bit of paper saying Khoa San Road. That was it. And I remember we arrived in Bangkok and got in a taxi, and I pulled out this bit of paper and said, here, take us here. So obviously the taxi driver must have been thinking, okay, he's asking, where are you from, where are you from? We say England. Oh, England, my favourite people. Is your first time? Yes, our first time. Oh yes, now I know. The pound signs were lighting up. And he said, are you here for Christmas? Yes, we're here for Christmas. Okay, you come to my house for Christmas dinner. You're my friend. Okay. So now we think like we've just met the nicest taxi driver in all of Bangkok. So we set off in a taxi. There's another guy with us. We picked up a stray who was travelling to Thailand on his own. Now I know that happens a lot. And he was from Cumbria. So we set off in the taxi. He says, the taxi driver says, I'll take you to my cousin's hotel. Okay, yeah, great, brilliant. Take us to your cousin's hotel. We get to the hotel, and think about it, this is after a long flight. We drop our bags in. We don't even shower or get changed, I don't think. No, I think we probably had a shower, got changed quickly, straight back out. And basically, to cut the story, we stayed with this taxi driver for 3 days. He took us everywhere you can imagine in Bangkok that two young mid-20 guys would be taken. You get what I mean? So we went everywhere. We did all the usual things, the ping pong show, the bars, the clubs, Muay Thai, stadium, fighting, everything, but then still not asked us for any money. And I'm thinking, kept saying to him, Paul, you know, how come he just hangs around and waits for us, and when are we going to pay him? And we were paying for him for a lot of things as well, because we were like, well, this guy is amazing. And the car had electric windows and leather seats. It had a real nice car. How we stumbled into this car, I can't quite recollect that part. We just walked out of the airport and got into it. So after a while, 3 days gone by, we're on the third night now. We've done so much. We'd had, you know, we was having an amazing time. I go to the toilet in the hotel, and a guy from Coventry follows me in and says to me, "Who's that guy you're with?" I said, "Oh, he's a taxi driver." He's like, "Do you know him?" I said, "Well, no, we met him." "Where did you meet him?" So I met him at the airport when we arrived. "All right. How much you pay for the hotel? How much you pay for this, that and the other?" And basically came to it that we realised we were paying a hell of a lot more than what we should be. So obviously told my friend, and we had to get rid of the taxi driver and the nice air-conditioned luxury car that we've been driving around in for 3 days. Yeah, so that was basically our first 3 nights in Bangkok, and there was no hard feelings, even though we might have paid a bit more for this, that and the other. At the end of the day, we were all about enjoying ourselves and having a good time, and we certainly did that. So the next step was Pattaya. So we got a taxi down to Pattaya, and I can't remember how many nights we were planning to stay there, 4 or 5. But anyway, we got to Pattaya, and being a young guy from the UK, I knew nothing about Thailand, but all I was thinking was tropical, beautiful beaches, island, and got to Pattaya. Obviously this is the party capital, and it's not the beach area, so I was a bit like, where's the beach? You know, what's going off here? We were told don't swim in the sea in Pattaya, which for good reason, it's just bars, clubs, and so basically we had another 4 or 5 nights in Pattaya. You know, did the usual thing that everyone does in Pattaya, partied hard, and got back to Bangkok feeling worse for wear, pockets very light, realising that things are not so cheap when you party non-stop in Thailand. So a lot of people come with the impression that it's cheap. This was 20 years ago, and trust me, we were getting through money like no one's business. So we get back to Bangkok. The plan now is to head down to Phuket. It was meant to go on a bus, which was apparently going to take 15 hours overnight. We were both in agreement that wasn't going to happen. So we knocked that on the head. We stayed in Bangkok, had another night in Bangkok, and then caught the plane to Phuket. So we arrived in Phuket. We stayed at the top of Bangalore Road, just to the left. There used to be a bungee ball there that fires you up into the air. We wasn't far from there. I can't remember the hotel's name. Lovely hotel, beautiful hotel. Patong Beach was like unreal back then. Beautiful blue water, and basically we both really said to each other, yeah, this is what we was imagining. This is the idea in our head of Thailand, of beautiful beaches, bars, clubs. You still had the party scene, you still had everything. I think we got some bites. Remember we went down to Karon Beach, was like nothing there at all. 20 years ago it was just, and the sea was like, what? Never seen an ocean like it, how blue. And yeah, that was like, we just said this is what we had in our minds before we came. Beautiful beaches. We did the PP trip, we did boat trips, and we still went out and partied like young mid 20-year-old guys do. Obviously that was what we was here for. So yeah, that was my first trip to Thailand, and I returned again in 2003, and then I took a bit of a break because I think the wallets couldn't afford it, and I loved it from the first time I ever came. I loved the place, I love the people. I didn't love the food then. I didn't even try the food, I don't think. Proper Brit on holiday was just eating British food. Now all I eat is Thai food. So yeah, things change the older and wiser you get. And yeah, I definitely love it even more now that I live here. So just a little story there, and I'll get back to making videos out and about. This weekend is the vegetarian weekend, and then not long after that is trip to Korat, Isan, to meet Maybelle's family. Oh my god, scary. Okay, thanks for watching. Take care, people. Peace out. Goodbye.